Hi everyone, this is Professor Trunkale. I'm going to be your instructor for the Physics 102 online Earth Science course. So I have my webcam here above my monitor, so you're going to see me looking down because I'm going to walk you through the syllabus for this course. Okay, so you should also be seeing the D2L site for the course, and there's a separate video that actually walks you through how to navigate D2L, so I'm not going to go through much of that, other than to show you if you go to the Content tab and you go to the overview, you're going to see that's where you can find our syllabus. So let me just make this larger. Okay, so like I said, I'm Professor Trunkale. So I used to be full-time faculty in the physics and engineering department, but I've accepted a position in the provost office. So I'm actually now the director of student retention and completion. So it's actually a brand new position on campus, so we're still sort of figuring out exactly what that means. But I'm a resource for students to help them navigate through. You can really think about it as navigating through the university bureaucracy and trying to figure out how best to live their lives here at the U. So I'm doing that, but I'm also still teaching as an adjunct for both the physics and the math department. So if you've ever had me for a class, and I've noticed some people in my class list for Earth Science that I have had you in class before, my office has changed. So as you can see in the syllabus, and I'm going to start looking down as I'm reading the syllabus, my office is in O'Hara 118. So O'Hara is the building across from the Leahy Center, caddy corner to it. And when you enter the building, enter O'Hara Hall, I'm on the first floor, you go to the right, and I'm the corner office on the right-hand side. And that's actually where I am right now. So it's a sweet office, so feel free to visit at any time. All right, so let me just kind of go through this and make sure everyone's crystal clear on exactly what the expectations are for the course. So office hours. Since I'm now as an adjunct, I don't have 3 hours during the week posted, but what I'm asking you is just make an appointment with me if you do need to speak with me during for office hours. We could meet either Zoom if you're not comfortable coming to campus because this is a remote course, or like I said, we could absolutely meet in my office if you want to have a face-to-face meeting. And my office is large enough that we'll be able to social distance no problem. Okay, so here's the textbook. I have a link here that'll take you directly to the publisher's website. So you could purchase an ebook for $39, I think it's $40, and it's good for 180 days, which is perfect for this course. I would say it'd probably be a waste of money to spend $150 on an actual hardcover book. So I suggest you get the ebook for the course. That would be the best thing, and I have the ISBN there listed as well. So for computer requirements, I'm expecting you to have a reliable internet connection so that when you take online quizzes or exams, you're not going to be interrupted by an interruption in your internet service. Also, your computer needs to be able to view PDFs and watch videos, and that's normally not an issue anymore. Most people have a device that can easily do those things. Now for D2L and email, I'm expecting you to check your D2L site often because I will be posting things very often, and sometimes those things are bonus opportunities, so make sure you look out for those. And also check your email. So what I'll do is if I'm sending an email to the class, when I send it through D2L, not only does it go to the messenger in D2L, it also sends you an email. So please check your email in D2L often. So some course expectations. I'm expecting you to log in and check things and take the quizzes and exams as dictated to you on the schedule, which is at the end of the syllabus, which I'll cover. Expecting you to watch the videos and cover the content, read the textbook, that sort of thing. I really would like you to follow the plan at the end. I'll talk a little bit more about what's flexible in the plan, but I'll say this more than once in this video. You must take the quizzes and you must take the exams on the dates listed. And then 4 is important because I really won't be able to help you with technical issues. So if you have any technical issues with your computer, you're going to have to go through our university's help desk. So with that being said, I would not wait until, a half hour before something's due or a half hour before you have to finish an exam to start taking that exam, only because if you do have a technical issue, I'm not going to be able to help you, and you really can't use that as an excuse. Now, obviously, let's say there's some weather issue when you take the exam and you lose power and internet and the exam stops halfway. Just send me an email. We'll figure out out something for you to, retake that assessment. No problem. All right, student learning outcomes, I'll let you read those on your own. Grading, it's very simple. There's 3 exams, each worth 100 points. There are 10 quizzes, each worth 10 points. And then there'll be 1 paper. It's not long. I think of it more of an essay, and that'll be 100 points. So that totals up to 100 points. And how you figure out your letter grade is you take the amount of points you earn, divide by 500, multiply by 100%, and then that gives you the percent grade for your course. And then you'll see that I have a letter grading scale here right on the syllabus, and that'll show you what your letter grade will be. Okay, so let's talk about these examinations. They'll be online, because remember, this course, it was remote. It's actually not a remote course. This is an online web course that was online before this crazy COVID pandemic happened. So everything is online. There's no need to come to campus. So for the exams, you're beginning to be given 3, and I give you dates in which to take those exams. So there's 2 possible days back-to-back to take any of the exams. So I say from 8 a.m. on the first day till 10 p.m. on the second day, you have to complete the exam. So the format of the exam will be some objective-based questions. They'll all be either multiple choice or true and false. But then there also will be short answer questions where you have to type out a written response. Okay? Now, the questions are going to appear on your screen in a random order, so if you tried to sit next to somebody to take the exam, your exam is going to be different from theirs. And there will only be 5 questions that pop up on your screen at any time. All right? And you'll have 1 chance to answer the questions on that specific exam page. And essentially what that means is after you answer those 5 questions, you submit them. You can't then go back to those previous questions. All right? And that's so you can't sit next to somebody and just trade off the answers. And there's also a video on how to take an exam and a quiz that'll give you more information on what an exam page looks like and all that. I walk you through a sample exam. There's also a sample exam on D2L that you can take at any time just to get used to the interface if you've never actually taken an online quiz or exam on D2L. All right, so there's 82 multiple choice or true or false questions, each worth of 1 point, and then 3 short answers, each worth 6 points each, and that's how you get your 100 points. So here's an important thing, and I always get emails because I'll know you didn't watch this video. When you go to take the exam, the multiple choice and true or false questions will automatically be graded. So you're going to see a number after you submit the exam. Let's say it turned out to be a 78. That doesn't mean you earned a 78% on the exam. That just means you got 78 points out of 82 points. I have to go in and manually grade the short answer questions. And I'll send a class announcement on D2L letting everyone know when the grades are finalized in the gradebook. So don't freak out when you see, a 68 or something. 68 is really out of 82, which really isn't a bad score. So don't worry when you see that number. I have to go in and grade the short answers. All right, so here we go. Once you have started an exam, you'll be given, they are timed. You're going to be given 100 minutes, which is a long time, right? It's an hour and 40 minutes, which is 60 seconds per point to complete it, and then D2L will submit it. So these exams are designed that if you do what you're supposed to do, you read the book, you take notes while you read the book, you go through the content that I provide, the videos and the PowerPoint slides, and you study. These exams and quizzes are very simple. If you try to sit there with the textbook and page through that textbook and trying to find the answers, you will not have enough time to do that. Okay. The last little bit here in bold here just talks about if you plagiarize a short answer question, you'll receive 0 points for the entire exam, not just the question. And it's very easy to tell if you plagiarize something. You're not allowed to take the exam with another student. Questions are taken from a large test bank. So student 1 and student 2 are going to take the exam. They're going to be at the same difficulty, but they're not going to have the same questions. Again, it's to stop any plagiarism or cheating to occur on the exams. Now, this last little part here about no makeup exams will be given, this is if, let's just say, you forget about it, right? And then you email me and say, oh, I didn't take the exam, can I take it? That's not going to fly. You always have to either provide some type of excuse beforehand, like I have a doctor's appointment or something. But the reason I'm okay with that, obviously, if there's an issue and you're really sick, and obviously we could have issues with COVID, because I make the exam available on 2 separate days. Most likely, if you have a doctor's appointment one day, well, then I'm just going to assume you're going to take it the next day. But there could be instances where you can't take it on either of those days. And again, if it's a valid excuse and it's reasonable, I'm a reasonable person, and there won't be any issues. And obviously, if something happens afterwards, again, if the excuse is reasonable, I'm a reasonable person when it comes to giving makeups. But if you just forget, it's not going to fly. All right, so that's all about exams. So the quizzes. Now, the quizzes are only on one day. They're going to be very similar to exams. The quizzes are timed. You're only going to be given 15 minutes to complete them, but there are only 20 questions, and they're only objective-based, so they're only multiple choice and true and false. And you could even possibly see questions on quizzes that also appear on the exam. All right, so you have from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the quiz days to complete it. And what will happen, what's nice about the quizzes that's different from the exams, after you take the quiz, if you got any questions wrong, D2L will show you the questions you got wrong and then give you the correct answer. That way you know what you got incorrect and you need to study for the exam. But the exam will not do that. The exam will not give you correct answers, simply because I don't want those answers then shared with somebody else, to give them the possible opportunity to cheat. So each quiz question is worth 0.5 points each, so 20 times 0.5 is 10, and that's how you get your 10 points. All right? Now, these quizzes are all going to be on Monday, because since we don't have any breaks, we don't have Labor Day, we don't have fall break, everything worked out schedule-wise that you'll end up having this quiz every Monday. So I'm telling you right now, you're watching this video on the first day of class on a Monday, please block off time. You're only going to need 15 minutes every Monday to take this quiz. Now, the weeks we have an exam, you will not have a quiz during those weeks. All right, so the science film analysis. Now, on the D2L site, there is 2 documents that you should look at. There's the information that's more than on the syllabus, more information about this analysis. There's a document there, and the rubrics there. So you're going to see exactly how I'm going to grade your paper. So here's what I suggest you do. You read those 2 documents, and then after you write your paper, go through the rubric yourself and make sure you're meeting all of the criteria. I think I call it the excellent column or something, just to get the most points. So let's talk about it very briefly, and you can go ahead and read more about that on D2L. You just have to pick a movie. I give you a couple examples. Please don't only choose from these. Pick any science fiction movie, and what you're going to do is you're going to find 3 situations within the movie that where they portray the science as real, but it's actually inaccurate. So then you're going to write a 2 to 3 page double-spaced essay on those 3 topics, and do internet research to find evidence, and then also use your textbook as evidence. All right, so what I'm saying is you need to have at least 2 sources. One source has to be from your textbook. One source could be from a book or the internet or some other source. All right, but you have to cite something when you're debunking the science from these movies. And at least one of those sources has to be your textbook. And again, please read the science film analysis information sheet and look at the rubric. And that's going to be due, it's a little ways past halfway through the course, and I'll show you that on the syllabus. So here's just a little our academic honesty policy. You all should know what that is. If you have any testing accommodations, please let me know as soon as possible so I could go ahead and put those accommodations into D2L. All right, so here we go. Here's the course schedule. We're going to be covering 14 chapters of the book. Not necessarily all the content in all 14 of those chapters, but for the most part, we'll be covering all of those. So I split those 14 chapters into what I call units. Now, these units aren't how the book divides into units. So just be aware that I just chose these 3 units just to space out the amount of content, and because I just, I like this specific material in the Earth Science book. And each unit is about 110 pages of the book. So you might be thinking, well, 110 pages, that's not terrible. But this is a textbook, remember. So each page of a textbook actually has a ton of information. But if you follow this schedule, I make it completely manageable. So here's Unit 1. This is sort of like, I think, a geology unit. We also talk about running water, which is important. And then Unit 2 is what I call maybe the fun geology stuff, so plate tectonics, earthquakes, volcanoes, that sort of thing. And then there's actually a little astronomy at the end of Unit 2. And then my favorite unit, Unit 3, is all about meteorology. So every topic is about weather. All right, so here we go. So what do we have here? So in the date column, you'll see that there's a date column here in the schedule. A date that's italicized means that you have a quiz on that day. All right, and then any date where it's bolded indicates you're having an exam on that Monday or Tuesday. You're going to choose which day to take the exam. So here's how it goes. I give you the topic and task to do. This is by week now. All right, so I don't give you day-by-day tasks. I give by week. So you figure out how you want to space out what you're learning in that week. So for example, so this week will be a little different because I'm having you watch the intro videos, this syllabus video, D2L navigation and course content, and then how to take a quiz. And I'm asking you to read the academic of honesty. And during that week, you're going to be covering only these specific sections of Chapter 2. And this is kind of a chemistry chapter, but they also talk about minerals and rocks, okay? But the principles of how these things are held together. So you see that it's 48 minus 32, so 16 pages of the textbook. So that's what you're covering during this week. So then a week after the very first day here, so here's our first day of school, August 17th. So a week later, August 24th, that's when you have to take a quiz on that Chapter 2 content. And then this is how we cycle through the whole semester. Then week 2, you'll see August 24th, that's the same day as quiz on Chapter 2. You're going to be covering these sections from Chapter 3, different types of rocks, and the rock cycle. Here are the pages. So you cover this material during that week however you see fit. It's completely fine. And then the following Monday, we have our quiz on that Chapter 3. So this just repeats, all right, until we get to Chapter 10. So this is the week of September 14th. You'll see we cover Chapter 10 on deserts, glaciers, and wind. But you'll note that there's no quiz on Chapter 10 because the Monday following the 14th, so September 21st or September 22nd, is when you take your first exam. And that completes Unit 1. And then it just repeats. So you just keep going through this cycle. You'll eventually get to the exam 2 at the end of October. Note that the science film analysis is going to be due October 19th. All right, and that's going to be in a Dropbox on D2L. So that's due October 19th. I will most likely remind you in a D2L announcement about that. And then you finally get through everything, and we will not be having a final exam, meaning like we don't meet at a separate time to take a longer exam. We just take our last exam, exam 3, on either the 16th or 17th of November, and that completes the course. And then the only thing left on the syllabus here is the Title IX requirements for my reporting obligations as a required reporter and the non-discrimination statement. All right, so that's it. So I'm going to end the syllabus video. Good luck with this semester. It's going to be a challenging one. Please look out on one of these first days for your first bonus opportunity. I won't tell you what it is right now, but please be on the lookout for that. I'm excited for the course. I really enjoy teaching earth science. I hope you enjoy the content. I hope you enjoy the videos, and good luck on your first day of classes. All right, have a good one.